What's up, guys? Time to show off the newest build, new Kraken 3.0 going out. This one's actually going out directly to a customer. I was talking to my buddy Scott, and he wanted something with a nice blue. So went through and grabbed one of my brass dial Kraken 3.0s. So this is acid etched, then enamel painted on the outside and the inside. So we've got that blue on the inside and then the black on the inside, and then baked, which gives us our little imperfections. Actually, what it does is it pops a little bit. So after that's done, sand the dial so everything raised, gets the paint knocked off of it, and that's what you end up with. So each one slightly unique to each other. Sometimes the brasses will change a little bit. We'll bake them a little bit longer, so the brass will turn a little bit. Typically when you sand it, it will kind of reduce that back to that normal look, but you can get kind of a deeper tone to it. It's like the base metal will actually kind of tone a bit. So each one a little bit more unique than another. This is in a brush 350 case. I did an Atlas black PVD bezel on this with a gold Mariner diver insert. Did a set of black paddle hands with a black seconds hand. Custom engraved caseback. So this is milled and custom engraved, which this is ghosted. So the phone is kind of picking it up. There will be a second one. I have it sitting right here. In case you don't like the ghosted look and you want to go over to more of a solid look, all you have to do is take off this tension ring right here. As you can see, this has a flat piece here. Let's dismiss that alert. Flat here, that's where that ring is sitting on. So this goes down compression, then that ring goes in there and spins, and it runs along that lip and holds compression. And why that's good is typically when you take a case back off, you're going to have some form of gasket in there, and whenever the case back itself turns, it stretches and manipulates that gasket, and it's good that first time, but if you take it off, you need to replace that gasket. The gasket sits there. This is pressure that is tightened way down and puts that pressure on it to where it's a compression like this, not a compression like that. So that gasket stays nice and flat. So if you want to swap over to that, you'll just take this ring off, reach right under that, kind of pop it up a little bit, take that off, make sure that ring stays under there. It stays under a channel, you'll see it. So around the edge of the inside of the case, just make sure it's down under that. Drop the new one in, put that ring down, then push down with your thumb, get it started with your fingers so you don't do any kind of cross threading, and then do the tighter turn, or use a nice flathead and you just kind of push at that angle and get it tight. Don't let it slip up. You don't want to hit anything, but that's another way to do it. So if you get a flathead, a little tiny precision, you can sit here and kind of walk it just a little bit, and then you can do the rest by hand. So just throwing that out there since this is the first watch you got from me. As you notice, we kicked that right off. This has quick release spring bars, so you can swap this right off. This is a brushed engineered band with all links in it, so you will have to remove any links to get it sized to your wrist. Fairly simple. If you have not sized one, somebody can size it for you. But if you happen to have your own punch, what you'll do is you'll find the side that's what slightly has a recessed point to it. That's where your punch would fit in. You tap it out. You'll also notice you've got arrows that tells you which way to tap out. If you need to, say you put it on the wrist, you fold it over, you're like, all right, I need to remove 3. Take 2 out on one side, 1 out on the other. Otherwise, you're going to have this clasp up around your wrist, or it's going to be up around the bottom side of your wrist. So you want to try and keep it in the middle as much as you can. So you'll take those two out, you flop those back into each other, you'll feed it back through the same way that you knocked it out. It's a tapered pin, so the side that's folded over, if you kind of picture a cotter pin, and the side of the cotter pin that you don't feed through first, the tapered side that's flipped over on itself, that's what feeds through. And whenever you tap it down, it goes to where it's perfectly sitting right inside there, and it's not as long as this, so that's what gives you that recessed spot. So it's only about 21 millimeters versus the 22. So then you do the opposite on this end. Punch that out that way, punch the other one out that you need, put them together, feed it back through, tap it flat. This right here, you have a micro spring bar under your double lock clasp, custom engraved for you here. This is brushed as well. If you need to walk this over, just push your punch in there, walk it over one, walk it over one. Don't try and, it's kind of hard just jumping it completely. I walk it one, flip it, walk it one. But from here to there is about half a length. So if you need it a little bit tighter, that's how you can get that micro adjustment in there. But that is the build. This is brushed. If you ever get any nicks in it, use the green side of a Scotch-Brite and just do single passes straight. Don't go back and forth. You start getting angled lines. Same thing with this. If you need to brush this out, open it up, brush it like this, then flip to this, brush it down. Use the green side of a Scotch-Brite. That's how you're not really removing that scratch. All you're doing is kind of making it not as shiny and kind of blending it in a little bit, because that scratch will have a shiny look to it against the others that it's kind of have a more of a dull look to it. But bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It is a tension ring bezel. It does not click, so whenever you're wanting to use it, if you turn it that way, it's going to sit there. It is not going to click. You don't have to just go one direction. It is a tension ring. Automatic mechanical, you've got a rotor in the back, so as you're moving, it's moving and keeping time. It's got a 31-hour power reserve in it, so if you have it wound out, it's going to run for 31 hours off your wrist. But as you're wearing it, you're keeping it charged because that rotor is moving back and forth and putting micro winds in there. But before you put it on, before you set the time, make sure you wind it just a little bit. How you do it is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it. I need to grab some canned air. Back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. You'll see you're off that crown tube. You got a little bit of play there. Now you can wind, and a wind is a turn away from you, or clockwise as you're looking at it. Back towards you clicks it, does not wind it. But it is a lot easier to go back and forth and do micro winds. You can always do this if you want. I end up feeding it back on, so when I do this, I can kind of keep that tension and that pressure to keep it right off that crown tube. So 4 or 5 seconds of that, mixed with the rotor movement, will keep your time throughout the day. If you do it for another 4 or 5 seconds, you will max out your 31-hour plus power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. You can literally sit this and do it all day if you want. It's only going to take in what it needs to. It's going to compress that mainspring and deflect the rest. So it's a slipping mainspring. So once you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so that second hand is going to keep going. And you'll also notice you still have that play in that crown. This is called a wobble crown, and it deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, it is basically a little ball joint there, and the stem is straight, but the head is moving. So it is a design feature, not something broke. You can set your time. Alexa, what time is it? 7:48 p.m. Spin this around, push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. And that, sir, is your build. As with every build, you're going to get complementing beads. This is also going to come into a Kraken slider box with Atlas watch pillow. It's going to come with a few things. Watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal, so everything here on the watch. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. And it's also going to come with some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged into these little things here. This is for your domed acrylic glass. You can scratch that glass, put a tiny bit of this on it, and buff it out with the other microfiber that's included. If your scratch is up and down, just haze it. I generally do a lot of like hard pressed circles on it, basically kind of like working it in. Like if you're dealing with an old headlight, you're kind of using the same thing because those are plastic. Obviously there's better tools these days now, but that buffing compound that you'd see people kind of use like really fine sandpaper. So that's some of the things you can kind of do with Hardex. But that right there is like Polywatch for acrylic glass. So like I said, you'll put a tiny bit on it, you'll just buff it, like 30 seconds of it. It'll haze it up, and then you'll just kind of buff it off. Should be gone. But that's it. That's your watch, and I hope you love it. I'll have this probably sitting in here the opposite direction, since this has all the links in it. Normally your watch pillow, this sits on the watch pillow the other direction. But and then this will be in there as well. So you can either use it or just have it as a fun little extra thing for you. So Scott, I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. And for any of you guys watching, if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe. So I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.